Should the US join Israel's war in Iran?
A short time ago, the U.S. military carried out massive precision strikes on the 3 key nuclear facilities in the Iranian regime.
That is a question that is fueling a battle in US politics that is unfolding in front of our eyes.
The conflict in Iran is starting to split the Republican Party.
War with Iran would be a terrible idea.
So you've come out for regime change in Iran.
I think it's a terrible mistake. Every war is not our war.
This relationship with Israel hasn't ever served us.
For decades, support for Israel was sacred, unquestionable. But now, a rebellion is brewing, a powerful one, and it's coming from the American right.
You get the sense that Israel is trying to drag the US into a war with Iran.
It's clear to the American people here that none of this has anything to do with America first. This is all Israel instead.
And Donald Trump is caught in the middle, between a movement that propelled him to power and a lobby with unlimited influence.
America does not have an America first foreign policy, despite what Donald Trump says. America has an Israel first foreign policy.
It is America first versus Israel first. The stakes couldn't be higher, and the winner might shape American foreign policy for the next decade. So who will it be?
God bless Israel and God bless America. Thank you very much.
Hi, it's Salem. Before we dive deeper, a special thank you to our Patreon supporters who make videos like this possible. Doing this work takes time, resources, and editorial independence, and we're only able to do that because of our community. So if you believe in what we're doing and want to be part of it, you can join our Patreon by scanning the QR code on screen. It's how we keep this going. Now back to the video.
This is a Fox News alert. News from the President of the United States that there has been an attack inside Iran.
Now, I may do it, I may not do it.
Why did it take Trump so long to decide to strike Iran? Trump's apprehension reflects a deeper fault line within the American conservative movement. It is a defining civil war amongst the right, between those who believe in America first and those who stand with Israel first. Trump is stuck between the two. But what do these phrases actually mean? America first was coined in the 1940s, but revived by Trump again in 2016.
From this day forward, a new vision will govern our land. It's going to be only America first. America first.
It means anti-immigration, tariffs, nationalism, and putting U.S. interests above foreign entanglements.
We will keep America out of foolish, stupid, ridiculous foreign wars. We're charting a path to stability and peace in the Middle East because great nations do not want to fight endless wars.
This philosophy fueled the movement that brought Trump into power. But now, these core values of Trump are being tested with Israel's war on Iran.
Donald Trump looks, and man, I supported him. Donald Trump should be impeached and removed for this. All of his supporters should turn on him. It's the absolute betrayal of everything that he ran and campaigned on and everything that he stood for.
And on the other hand, there's Israel first. And this is what it looks like.
I came into Congress 13 years ago with the stated intention of being the leading defender of Israel in the United States Senate.
Great.
And I've worked every day to do that.
You asked me why I'm obsessed with Israel.
Yep.
3 minutes after telling me that when you first ran for Congress, you elucidated one of your main goals, which is to defend Israel.
Yes.
And I'm the one who's obsessed with Israel. I don't see a lawmaker's job as defending the interests of a foreign government, period.
The phrase Israel first is a blistering critique of American foreign policy that seems more loyal to Tel Aviv than to everyday Americans. From billions in taxpayer money for Israel's military aid, to UN vetoes, to fighting Israel's wars. This is happening in the context of Americans feeling like they're struggling with everyday life, healthcare, cost of living, and so much more. Now, as the war Israel started on Iran rages on, the right asks itself, whose side are we really on? You can't answer that question without understanding how Israel first was manufactured by a very powerful lobby. Let's start with AIPAC. Initially known as the Zionist lobby, it was the de facto embassy of the Zionist movement in the United States. But that didn't change when Israel was created. There was no illusions that the lobby was an extension of the Israeli government and its diplomacy. And by the 1960s, the American intelligence community and the Department of Justice pushed that lobby to register as a foreign agent. It is during that time that they rebranded to the American Israel Public Affairs Committee, or AIPAC, and they positioned themselves as a domestic lobbying group under the slogan, America's pro-Israel lobby. This shift allowed them to avoid regulation, scrutiny, and paved the way for them to build one of the most powerful lobbying machines Washington has ever seen.
Never taken money from the Israel lobby, have you?
Taken money from the Israel...
From AIPAC.
So AIPAC raises a lot of money for me.
Is AIPAC a foreign lobby?
No, it's an American lobby.
It lobbies on behalf of the Israeli government.
Wrong.
My only question is, why don't we admit that is what's happening? You're denying it, but it's true.
Yeah,
and
because what you're saying is false.
Why aren't they registered as a foreign lobby?
Because they're not.
AIPAC rules with fear. If a politician is critical of Israel or not pro-Israel enough, they will spend millions to unseat them. In 2024 alone, they spent over $100 million on elections.
I may be the only Republican in Congress who hasn't done homework for AIPAC. I vote my conscience, which they won't tolerate. This election cycle, they spent $400,000 against me. One person starts speaking the truth, they're afraid it could be contagious.
They weaponize campaign donations, they sway primaries, they smear and defame their opponents, and they have even boasted about writing actual legislation that they handed to American lawmakers.
And I have Republicans who come to me and say, that's wrong what AIPAC is doing to you. Let me talk to my AIPAC person. By the way, everybody but me has an AIPAC person.
What does that mean, an AIPAC person?
It's like your babysitter, your AIPAC babysitter.
Every year, Democrats and Republicans show up to AIPAC's annual conference to pay fealty, applauding policies that prioritize Israel, even if those policies had nothing to do with the lives of everyday Americans. See, AIPAC was able to capture the donor class within American politics, both on the left and on the right, and it aligned itself with the establishments of those two parties. And that is how Israel has become one of the few bipartisan issues in American politics. But AIPAC is not the sole driving force behind Israel first. It also comes from Christian evangelicals. Enter Christian Zionism.
Hello, I'm Pastor John Hagee, the chairman of Christians United for Israel. We've grown to become the largest pro-Israel organization in the United States.
We're doing this because God asked us to do so in His Word.
And here's the thing, Christian Zionists don't support Israel for political reasons. They support it for theological ones. To them, Israel isn't just a country, it's the fulfillment of biblical prophecy. Many believe that for Jesus to return, the Jews must reclaim the Holy Land, and their influence is no joke. Today, Christian Zionists outnumber Jewish Zionists in the US by millions, and they are a key voting bloc, especially in Republican primaries. Groups like Christians United for Israel claim to have over 10 million members.
Churches, evangelical churches, they've got an organization called Christians United for Israel, where they've sort of co-opted evangelicals. People think it's a grassroots movement in Kentucky. It's actually a top-down movement from AIPAC, so that people who aren't even Jewish will feel like they've got to support Israel, no matter what.
And politicians know exactly how powerful they are. Nikki Haley, Ted Cruz, and even Donald Trump have openly courted the Christian Zionist base and promised them to protect Israel at all costs. That is why you have Ted Cruz saying this.
Growing up in Sunday school, I was taught from the Bible, those who bless Israel will be blessed, and those who curse Israel will be cursed. And from my perspective, I want to be on the blessing side of things.
Of those who bless the government of Israel?
Those who bless Israel is what it says. It doesn't say the government of it, says the nation of Israel. So that's in the Bible. As a Christian, I believe that.
Where is that?
I can find it to you. I don't have the scripture off the tip of my... You pull out the phone and use the Google.
It's in Genesis. But so you're quoting a Bible phrase. You don't have context for it and you don't know where in the Bible it is, but that's like your theology? I'm confused. What does that even mean? And now you're throwing out theology, and I am a Christian, and I am allowed to weigh in on this. We are commanded as Christians to support the government of Israel?
We are commanded to support Israel. And what
does that mean, Israel?
We're told those who bless Israel will be blessed.
But what, hold on, define Israel. This is important. Are you kidding? This is majority Christian.
Together, Christian Zionists and AIPAC have created a political firewall that makes not supporting Israel unconditionally or even fighting a war on its behalf a career-ending move. And we're seeing that play out right now. But that firewall is cracking. For decades, being pro-Israel was a requirement in American politics and media, especially on the right. The consensus is breaking, and that's what's making this rebellion so significant.
This relationship with Israel hasn't ever served us.
As the America First movement took shape, it offered a different vision for foreign policy, opposed to the classic GOP and neoconservative interventionism that aligned so well with the Israel lobby. Foreign intervention and ending wars were key principles of this movement, born out of the disastrous invasions of Afghanistan and Iraq.
We're getting out of the endless wars. Have to do it. The plan is to get out of endless wars, to bring our soldiers back home, to not be policing agents all over the world. We want to bring our soldiers back home. These are the endless wars. We're not supposed to be policemen. We've been there for 19 years in Afghanistan. It's ridiculous.
But for them, the stakes became even higher as Israel launched its war on Iran.
The next 200 days are some of the most perilous times for the American Republic in its history. Because if we don't get this sorted, we're going to be drawn in totally into a conflict as a combatant.
It was well established that Israel didn't have the military capabilities to destroy Iran's nuclear program on its own. And its strategy all along was to entice the US to join the fight and finish it once and for all.
You get the sense that Israel is trying to drag the US into a war with Iran.
What started as fear-mongering about a nuclear holocaust became grand plans for regime change. And this triggered déjà vu. When Republican neocons, along with Israel, dragged the US into war and regime change in Iraq over fear-mongering of nuclear weapons that never existed.
That time where war in the Middle East, when they said, it's going to be peaceful after this. We're just going to do one more regime flip. When did that work? Tell me the last time.
And the craziest part is that they have not even changed the script from the Iraq war. It is the exact same script. They are weeks, months, they're right around the corner from weapons of mass destruction, from nuclear weapons.
And once again, Israel is dragging the US into war and regime change in the Middle East. And it will cost American lives and taxpayer money dearly. Not to exclude the unknown repercussions that will be unleashed on the region and the world. And here's where Donald Trump is caught in the middle, between a pro-Israel lobby that helped fund his rise and fill his cabinet, and a movement that gave him his message, his base, and his political soul, if he had one. And so the lines are drawn. What we're seeing play out in the US isn't just disagreement about one war. It's something bigger. It's the unraveling of a decades-long consensus that will come to define the future. For nearly 80 years, American politics treated Zionism as sacred, especially on the right. Do you understand that supporting Israel wasn't just encouraged, it was demanded?
If you will not stand with Israel and the Jews, no, then I will not stand with you. Thank you, and God bless you.
To question it made you a fringe figure. To oppose it could end your career, and sometimes more than that. But Americans are starting to ask the forbidden questions. Why are our tax dollars funding foreign wars while we suffer at home? Why are we fighting wars on another country's behalf? Why are we risking global conflict over a country that routinely acts against our own national interests? And why has Zionism, a nationalist foreign ideology, become the third rail of American politics?
America does not have an America First foreign policy, despite what Donald Trump says. America has an Israel First foreign policy.
The battle between America First and Israel First is significant because it marks a turning point. It's an ideological realignment, at potentially the beginning of the end of US foreign policy being driven by another country. So when you hear America First versus Israel First, understand what they're really talking about. A reckoning that's been a long time coming.
God bless Israel and God bless